Hello, RGB back again already. After just that last game I uploaded, I decided to do another one because I've been quite enjoying this process of practicing casting, and it's fun to try something new and try something different. So for this replay we have HoTuBe, who is also known as the Pro Player Lite. This time I'm for sure that it's Pro Player Lite, because that's the exact name that he uses on the ladder. And he's playing against yangchigisonyun, also known as Toki. I will be referring to them under their actual usernames. So I'll be calling yangchigisonyun Toki, I'll be calling HoTuBe Lite, and HoTuBe, Lite, starts off with a depot at 810, and Toki started off with a pylon at 7-9, and he's just very calmly collecting his minerals. He's going to construct an additional nexus because he's not spending his money. He's saving up for 400. Light has started a barracks and is sending a SCV out to scout. This is a very early scout. He's probably scouting for a mid build because he's going over the middle and he doesn't want to get cut out by a mid build. He's going for spot number 6. This does hurt his economy a little bit, being on just a single barracks. He pulls another SCV and he makes a CC. That's a weird build. I haven't seen this build used before. A single barrack into his CC. It's really unconventional, but he believes he can pull it off. And given that he's a pro player, I believe his reasoning to be more solid than my own. So let's just see how this one plays out. Yanchigi Toki has added 2 gateways and a gas. He's going to add another gas, and after this one is finished, he's making a zealot. He's going to make a zealot from this one too and rally them to his choke point. He's going to construct a cybernetics core, no forge. This is a very risky move. Like, just in the case where HoTuBe had started with 3 barracks, he could have rushed this very hard and punished this build from Toki very hard. Like early medics, early depot, 3 racks, scouts it pretty early because he's right next to it. Like, even now. Oh, he decides to... Yeah, but now he only has a single marine, has a single zealot. Another zealot comes out, still on a single marine. There's one more marine right there, one marine right there. There's 3 marines against 2 zealots. But as of now, it's still a single zealot. Toki decides to pull back a zealot. An SCV is going into Toki space to scout it. And Light decides not to move his marines into Toki space. I mean, it's a wise choice because he only had a single barrack pumping marines up until now. Now he's got 3 barracks pumping marines. He's got 2 CCs making SCVs. He's making depots on the south side of his base now. He's starting an academy. And there's the probe. He almost kills the probe. Toki managed to pull it out with just 5 HP left. And there's an SCV. He's going to make bunker. Yeah, there's the bunker. And in the meantime, Toki has started a choke. Like, there's a robotic facility. He's not made a citadel of Adun yet. He's still constructing zealots from the 2 gateways. He's on 2 gases, and there's a citadel of Adun. He's going to make either... Well, he's going to follow up with a Templar's Archive. There's 2 robotic facilities, 1 cannon that is choke. He's going to send his zealots out, see if he can kill some marines. But he's going to walk into that choke and decides to, oh, I don't want to fight a bunker. So he pulls back, and Light also pulls back, puts his marines behind the bunker. It's a relative safety. And he starts a factory. An engineering bay is starting up. He's adding a scan. He's attacking the zealots. The zealots get pulled in. Toki pulls them back. The same thing repeats. And he pulls them back again. And he starts to chase. And Toki turns around to scare them off. But Light doesn't fall for it. And just pulls his units back to his bunkers, where he'll have them stay. There's the SCV still inside Toki's base. The shuttle finishes and 2 reavers are being constructed. Light, in the meantime, thinks this is the perfect time to make some turrets, because this is logically the time around which a shuttle would finish. And there are the turrets being constructed. The factory is finished. He's going to give it an add-on once he has the gas. He has the gas to do it. There's another turret. He's going to make a depot there. There's a stim upgrade. Yes, a stim upgrade. It's a range upgrade. I mean, it's a wise choice if you're not planning on fighting off bunkers. So he's probably going to rely on fighting on the bunkers. I don't know if he has stim upgrade yet. Lax upgrades for zealots are being made. Marine weapon upgrades is being made, and a shuttle speed is being made for Toki. Toki picks up 2 reavers, and he's going to fly along the edge to see if there are turrets he can fly over. He sees there are no turret. He sees there are turrets, so he can fly in. Meanwhile, he's making a Templar's archive, adding cannons in his base, adding gateways, adding pylons to construct gateways against. And here is the reaver. It lands, and Light really tries to snipe the reavers really quickly, which he fails to do. He did damage them a lot. The shuttle almost dies. It's 20 HP left. He redrops the reavers down onto the floor. Tank upgrade is about to finish. He goes in yet again, manages to snipe the shuttle, but almost loses all of his marines. The marines in the bunkers cannot hit the reavers, so he just rolls his tank in and finishes the reavers off. And Toki decides to attack with his zealots, kills the bunker. Zealot speed upgrades right after he decides to disengage. And a bunch of zealots have died. All the zealots are pretty low HP. There's just a single one still on almost full HP. And more reavers and more shuttles are finishing for Toki. He's added a Stargate, which he can make Corsairs to take focus off of the shuttles when he tries to fly them over the turrets. It's a good choice. And he's going to fly all the way around the map with that shuttle and pray to God. Oh, never mind, he gets scouted. Is he sending it to the choke? No, he's just gonna fly around, pick up 2 zealots. The marine gets killed by some zealots. There's now 2 tanks at the choke. If he brings at the choke, he's gonna construct depots and a barrack in front of the bunkers to block out units. And he flies over more marines. That's a really smart move from Light to put marines out around his base. And he's gonna try to fly in, but this marine gives vision of the shuttle, so the turret gets to fire down the shuttle, and the shuttle has to retreat. But meanwhile, in the base, there are 2 shuttles, and Templars have finished. The Psionic Storm has also finished. Dragoon range is being made, and he has gotten his shuttle in and dropped the Reaver. He's going to try to kill this turret. He's going to try to kill the Marines, but the Marines fire down the Reaver pretty quickly. And the Zealots are kind of just dumbly standing around and trying to kill Marines, but failing to do so. And the turret is not destroyed. There's 3 HP left. Just 1 more hit. That's going to be an SCV that's going to finish and repair it. And here comes the drop. Assisted by the Corsairs. There's Reavers and Templars in there. Templar comes out. He storms. And Light fails to dodge. And another storm. And another storm. Almost all of his SCV have been killed by those storms. Yes. Oh, he has about 12 left, but he had to pull some off of his gas. And oh, this is a pretty painful situation for Light to be in. And there's a Zealot killing turrets. Almost killed that turret, killed this turret. He's being rebuilt. There's still a couple Zealots in front of him. And Toki is adding more pylons as the skeleton, against which he can build gateways or carriers. Stargates, I mean, for carriers. So again, here are 4 Templars, 2 shuttles with nothing in them. There's a Lone Reaver. He's added more robotic facilities so he can make drops faster. And there's the Corsair production going on. And there's a couple gateways. He's completely going to rely on drops, so it seems. Drops to buy himself time for most likely carriers. And his Wraith gets a little vision over the wall so he can hit that robotic facility with the tanks. And he can't see that one. If he flies it a little bit closer, the cannon will probably attack him. I'm not entirely sure on that one. But these tanks do get a little bit of work in. And he's going to... Nope, you can't see them. And he scans the map. He scanned this part and this part. But he didn't see the drop. The drop might have been seen by him. I think he saw the drop flying in there. As he pulls his Marines down to the south. to protect himself. Even 2 Valkyries in there. And there the Valkyries deal damage. And not a single unit gets out. Because you have to fly up the depots. You can't unload over depots. And the Marines target down the shuttles pretty quickly. And here he's making an expo. He's going to make a bunch of stargates here. And a fleet beacon too. Beacon, not a bacon. A beacon. My bad, it's not a bacon. And a bunch of shuttles. 3 shuttles. Let's see what's in there. Most likely Templars. But there's Valkyries and they're killing the shuttles. But the shuttles do manage to fly in completely. Oh! These are really close. He got the Templar out, but the Templar failed to storm on the minerals. Instead, he got a bunch of units out here. And he failed to storm. And he did some damage to the turrets. And the turrets are going to be repaired. No, he's going to repair the Valkyries instead. It's a pretty smart move because the Valkyries do way more damage than the turrets initially do. With the AoE damage. And he's got 3 Valkyries out right there. And he's not making another one. He might make another one. 4 Valkyries in total. More Stargates are being added at the expo. And things are being loaded up. Things are being dropped on top of the tanks. He's going to try to kill the tanks. But the Reaver doesn't get a shot off. The tanks do die. And the Zealots do a lot of work. But the Zealots... Well, he could have actually killed all these Marines with the Zealots and then killed the turrets. Instead he kills 2 turrets. Stops 1 turret from being constructed. And he loses the Zealots. That's a pretty good hold for Light. Like, the damage could have been way worse, but stimming his Marines pretty quickly and having them spread out and the Reaver not getting a shot off prevented a lot of damage. Here, Toki has started a gas expo. He's mining with 9 probes on 3 gases to get some additional gas income. And here comes another drop. This has to be a lot of units. Let's see what's in there. A Reaver, 2 Reavers, a bunch of Zealots. He flies the shuttles back out. And this time the Reaver does get a lot of shots off. Another Reaver also got shots off. And the Zealots chase the Marines back to the bunkers. And there they die. And these Zealots also attacking the Marines again. This Reaver is doing some solid work. Got 6 kills. This Zealot's got 2 kills. It's a lot of kills for a pretty successful drop. And there comes another drop. And there are almost no Marines to defend against this. And he storms. He storms on the SCV, storms on the SCVs again. They didn't actually see how many he killed, but he must have killed at least 30 or 40 SCVs. And now Light is again back on just 12 SCVs and has to completely rebuild his economy again. And is unable to produce because he has no gas income and very little mineral income. It's going to be very hard for him to defend against these continuous drops from Toki, who keeps harassing and killing his bio and his tanks and his turrets and whatever, while continuously building up his own base and his expo from which he's going to make carriers anytime soon. He's starting a mid-build, cannons in the middle, and here comes a Reaver, and 4 Zealots are being dropped out just in time, but the Zealot only gets a shot off on the turrets, not on the Marines, so the Marines just have a good time killing all this stuff without dying themselves, and that's a good situation for Light, because now he gets some extra time to rebuild. Although a lot of shuttles are being... Oh, there's actually a wave of shuttles coming after these Reavers. So it will take a while for Toki to send out another drop. This gives Light, again, a couple more, about 20 to 30 seconds to continue rebuilding. But here comes a small group of Zealots who try to attack, but they trip out because they don't have access to the bunkers that they want to attack. So they just run back and forth. Toki is not making them click on... It's not clicking on the depots, but he doesn't have to. He doesn't really need those Zealots. He just produced new ones. So all in all, not a very grievous mistake that's going to end up costing him anything at all. Here's a drop. He's going to send that one around, and he's probably going to try to do 2 drops at the same time. This one will come from the south. Another one will come from the north. Here's a bunch of Valkyries, and the Valkyries are going to kill the shuttles and the Corsair. Oh, these shuttles barely escape, but they're such low HP that once they fly over the turrets, they're gonna die instantly. And here's a nice little cannon line, killing gateways with assistance from the vision of the gateway of the barracks and the raids. Here's a drop from the south that has been unscouted, and he sees it with the raid. Does he see it? He did not see it. Yes, he saw it, and there it is. There's the Valkyries, and the Valkyries kill the shuttle. It gets to unload a single Zealot, but no Templar is unloaded because they died too fast, and he's in a safe situation again. Still low on SCVs because it only has 2 command centers pumping SCVs. Here comes another drop. He's going to try to clean out these tanks, but there's a lot of tanks firing on the Reavers and the Zealots. But he does clean out 2 tanks. He does clean out the 3rd tank, yes. And he cleans out a bunch of turrets. 4 turrets have been cleaned out. Another tank dies. 5 tanks have died. And here's another tank shooting from the hill. And now he's going to clean out these turrets. Another turret dies. Another turret dies. And these Zealots now get pulled into the Marines through aggro. Whew, a lot is happening. And the Zealot is tripping out, trying to attack a tank on the hill. It's unable to do so. And more upgrades are coming out for Toki, who's almost on 3-3-3 for ground. But he's also started air upgrades, air armor, and air weapons. And Light has started his level 2 mech upgrade for ground and armor upgrade plating. And this drop is just hanging there real peacefully, like out of sight of the scans and out of sight of these Valkyries. And while his Valkyries are outside of his base and dying to cannons, a drop flies in and he unloads it. He doesn't unload it over the turrets, he unloads it at the main CC, but the SCVs get pulled off this time around. He's sending them to this gas in the bottom corner, and only his gas SCVs die. It's a very good trade-off. I mean, you're always going to lose something if the Protoss decides to get a storm off. The best thing you can do is to minimize the damage by pulling your SCVs away, and he will have to put new SCVs on his gas. That's still a small loss, but compared to the investment by Toki in that drop, that's a win for Light. And Light is continuing to harass, but here comes the mass, cavalry mass. The carrier mass. I misspoke there completely. And Light must be feeling pretty screwed now because, oh god, there's carriers. Although he does have a bunch of turrets killing interceptors, and he's got, how many? He's got 11 Valkyries taking down interceptors. He's repairing the Valkyries with his SCVs, and these tanks are just standing there trying not to die against the carriers. And all the interceptors have almost died. He has to pull back a little bit. Interceptors get replenished really quickly. There's a drop coming in, and he sees the drop and he kills the shuttle. And the Templar doesn't get out, but he kills the Templar just in time with siege mode, and the Marines finishing it off. So it's still a pretty defend against the drop kind of game. And Light is managing to play very well. And here is a tank drop, but he misses the main stack of probes of Toki. I think he got about 8 or so probes. It could have been like a way to turn around the game if he had hit more of those probes right there. But he misclicked. He only got a couple of them. The carriers in the meantime have pulled back. Light is constructing more turrets, and he actually has to add more SCVs because he's way too broke to be playing against carriers. And he has to add way more factories for Goliaths, and has to add anything to replenish his mass. And shuttle gets out, the storm falls, and he hits everything again. I think he lost about 30 SCV there, and he's once again completely broke. The best option would be if he pulls all these SCVs to his minerals, which he does. He pulls SCVs from his gas to his minerals, which he does. And starting another upgrade. I'm not sure if it's really smart to start the upgrade while he's this broke, but I trust the guy. And here's 2 Arbiter Tribunals. Here's a lot of gateways being constructed on the middle. A couple cannons to function as a buffer zone. This is very greedy from Light. In the meantime, here are the carriers back again under the cover of an Arbiter. But there's so many turrets, they'll see the carriers anyway. And the Valkyries are doing a good job taking out interceptors. And the Goliaths are standing closer to his main, because he's expecting there to be either a recall or a shuttle flying in, carrying a Templar to storm his minerals yet again. Here at the front, he's pushing out. I'm not sure if it's smart to risk these Goliaths while pushing out. He should also have a vessel around here, but he doesn't have. Where is that? There's a science facility, so he can produce a vessel. He's probably going to lose his tanks against these Dark Templars. Should be moving them anytime now. The carriers are still inside Toki's base. There's 8 carriers. A lot of the ground units are being produced. And there's the DT killing the tanks. Another DT killing Goliaths. No scan is out yet. He's just losing to the tanks. And he notices now, and he scans, and he walks his Goliaths into cannon range, loses a Goliath to cannons. But he's lost 4 tanks and 3 Goliaths to those DGs. It was a very late scan, very late reaction. Sometimes it can be hard to notice that in time. And here comes the carriers again, clearing out the Valkyries and the turrets. And there's no drop this time. Yes, there's the drop. He flies it in. Light focuses down the shuttle just in time to prevent from losing its minerals again. And the carriers are just happily taking down all these turrets. And there's, I can't see the upgrades. Let me check the upgrades on these carriers. Yes, he's on 3-3-3 air against 1-3-3 mech upgrades on the ground and 0-0 air upgrades in the air. So these Valkyries, even though they have some nice splash damage, they're barely doing any damage against these interceptors. And against these carriers, it's mostly coming from these Goliaths. And the turns are falling really quickly, and it's very costly to make new turrets. In the meantime, Toki's also really broke. Not sure how that happened. He didn't get dropped again. I think he just pulled them off and sacrificed them for more additional psi count. But I think he pulled off a little bit too many. And he's still losing his middle. But at the same time, he's completely winning this fight up here, killing Goliaths, killing turrets. His carriers are not dying fast enough. I don't think his carriers are being his carriers are being focused down now, but they're on the hill, so it's very difficult for Light to focus them down. He has to use scans to get vision of them, so he can focus them down. Instead, he's focusing down interceptors, but there's so many carriers now, like, bam, about 20 carriers around here. Another drop flies in. He focuses down the drop successfully. That's really nice. And great awareness and a quick reaction from Light. But these carriers are now killing the Goliaths again. A couple more Goliaths are walking in, but Light is still very broke. He needs more SCVs on his minerals if he wants to survive this, so he can keep producing more and more. Because right now, he's not producing from all of his factories, so he's undermining. Usually you hear about overmining. This time he's undermining. His SCV count is very low. He's almost broke, basically. And he's got only 5 Goliaths left there. A couple Goliaths here that he's trying to send in. But this is definitely not going to be enough. I have a feeling that the game is going to end right here. The carriers are going to kill down the main CC. Yes, there it goes. Unable to repair it. Unable to take down the carriers fast enough because the carriers are just, there's too damn many of them. More carriers are flying in. And I think Light feels pretty screwed up. Yeah, he calls it. It's over. He couldn't take down this shuttle, which had 4 Templars in it. He couldn't pull away his SCVs. I mean, he couldn't even produce enough Goliaths to fight this off. The game was just over. And that's all because he did not hotkey his SCV in the earlier phases of the game to send them away to the gas to save them and save his income. Like losing your income that many times over and over and over again, it puts you behind, and it puts you behind even further. It's like kind of a snowball reaction for the Protoss, who just keeps getting further and further ahead, being able to do what he wants to do, get all the upgrades, get all the units, get all the buildings, get the mass, while you're just trying to recover from losing your income. And yeah, Light played it way too safe. I mean, not way too safe, way too scarce on the SCV count. He kept losing, didn't have enough income to challenge and fight up to Toki, who pretty much did everything by the book, went through all the necessary steps of abuse, so to speak, like abusing minerals, then immediately going for more abuse on the sides, like just kill bio, kill tanks, kill units, force light to keep replenishing his supply count, and spending minerals on making new turrets, making new depots, disallowing him from spending his already low income on expanding the base where he wants to expand it, like more factories, more starports, and upgrades, air and ground upgrades for his tanks and Valkyries, and adding some starports. You really could have benefited from having more income. Thanks for watching. It's a pretty interesting game. Light didn't really get a chance to display his skills like in the other replay and the other cast I did today, and he honestly looked really out of his element this game. He tried his best, but was just on the back foot the entire game, and being behind, you just don't get a chance to show off your skills. Even if you're a superior player, a single mistake can just cost you the game. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.